What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited today. We get to work on something different other than the Frankenstein or the Impala. The Impala is gone, back to the owner. So by the title of this video, you guys guessed it, we going Holley Sniper Kit EFI. We get to do that, and not on you, but look what we got over here. Yeah, buddy, that box Chevy looking real good, guys. This thing is real nice, man. This is a really nice car. We're gonna give it some love, give it some EFI Sniper Holley, so this thing has no more vapor lock issues, no more fueling issues. We're also gonna do maybe some tranny cooling lines on it as well. So I'm gonna back this thing up real quick onto the lift. We'll get this thing up in the air. First things first, I want to start by running the actual fuel and return line. So we're gonna see what this tank looks like. Let me get it up in the air and stay tuned. This thing is all the way from Chi-Town, you guys, all the way from Chi-Town. This boy super clean, super clean. We're gonna get him hooked up. We're gonna go ahead and pull off that old Edelbrock out of there, put that new Holley Sniper EFI kit on here, get them all cleaned up, so that way he don't have any more vapor lock. He was having some vapor lock issues, so we're gonna get that squared away. And also we're gonna he's got a cooler over here on the front that he mounted up. We're gonna get this thing plumbed up to his transmission, so that way his tranny stays nice and cool, because he's actually moving out here to Vegas. So be on the lookout. That way he's got to stay cool out here, man. It's hot out here in Vegas, so he's got the right idea. We're gonna get him hooked up, man. This thing is badass though. I'm excited to work on this thing. Super cool box. But we're gonna get it up in the air, see what's going on with this fuel tank, and go from there. All right, we got this thing up in the air. We on the back of the car. This thing's got some good parts on it, man. It's got some coilovers all the way around. It's got a nice rear end. Looks like he had the rear end done at one point. But now this what scares me, you guys. Now this is a back east car, obviously. Look, I just soaked it down. Hopefully let's see a lot of surface rust there, a lot of surface rust there, so I'm a little scared. Hopefully we can keep those bolts intact. Hopefully we can get them out, because if we can't, we're gonna have to cut them off to drop this tank. Well, y'all, this was a pain in the ass. This back east thing is no joke. I mean, look, I had to cut this thing off because I sat there and spent about 30 minutes trying to get that thing off. It was not happening, so we ended up having to cut the head off in order to get that bolt off, in order to drop the tank. And then once I dropped the tank, I mean, this thing has seen better days. I'm gonna reach out to the owner, see if he wants to replace this guy. If not, we're gonna have to clean it up and figure out how we can run a return line into this thing. I'll keep you guys posted. We are back here at the car, you guys. I went ahead and ordered that sending unit for the tank. We had to get a new one ordered just because of all the rust going on in this car. Don't want to put that back in the car, so I called the owner. We're going to order a new one. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, actually. But in the meantime, we're going to just keep rolling with this. I've already kind of went ahead and ran my fuel lines and my power and ground for a fuel pump. So with that kit, that Holley kit, it provides you with 20 feet of this 3/8 hose, and so we ended up buying another 20 feet because we need to run a return line. So keep that in mind. Depending on what kit you get, you're gonna need to buy an extra 20 feet. So we ran it there down through here, nice and tucked, with a couple clamps. Make sure you guys clamp everything down along the side here. Another clamp there, all the way back here, up and over. So right now they're just kind of landed in the engine bay there. So, but before I drop this thing down, I want to run some new AN lines, hydraulic hose, and some AN fittings we're going to put for this transmission. So I'm going to remove these old ones and then put some AN fittings on the transmission side and make some lines. And they're going to run all the way back here and get rid of these steel lines, and then run them all the way back here for that trans cooler right here. So we'll hook up to that guy there. So let me go ahead and start pulling all this stuff off, and then I'll get back to the actual lines once we get to the garage, and I'll show you how we're gonna make these up real quick, and then we'll put those fittings as well. This is a 700R trans, so let's pull this stuff off real quick. Back at the garage, so these are the guys we took out of that 700R transmission. You guys should probably have something like this: 700, 350, 400. They should all be pretty similar like these guys, and you'll have that actual pipeline. So I ended up just cutting those off because these things were stuck on and they were just getting stripped. So these are what we were replacing them with. This XRP item number 94006, and these are just taking place of that. Those are pretty nice. We'll put those in. I picked these up at the local speed shop here, and then I'm going to put some AN fittings on there as well. Put those on there, and this line too. This is hydraulic line, guys. Make sure you guys get hydraulic line. We went with this, the braided as well. A little bit better protection for the heat. So we're gonna put those on real quick, measure it out. We'll probably cut this in half. This is about 20 feet. Cut it in half and then cut to length. Put those ends on them. Put those on the transmission side, and I'll see you guys back at the car. Just like that, ready to go. All right, y'all, we got the tranny lines all hooked up in here with the AN fittings. I don't know if you guys can tell by the camera here. It's kind of hard to capture those there. Let me see if I can get you guys up there. All up in there, if you guys can see them. But we got them ran, nice tucked in here, up and over away from the heat. And then down that way through the oil pan, and then we got them also clamped there. These are your transmission cooling lines, but we're gonna end up having to leave them right there for a sec because we have to remove this old mechanical pump style. So this EFI kit, obviously we're getting a new fuel pump, we're putting it in the back towards the tank. So this is the old mechanical style pump. So we got to remove these lines, remove these fittings, and remove the actual pump itself, and then apply a block off plate with the gasket. So let me go ahead and take this stuff off so you can see what it looks like. We got the car on the ground. We are back. I did have to do some stuff for you guys real quick. Remember we were talking about that fuel pump mechanical that had to go, but before that we had to remove this alternator here because he's actually running 2 alternators, believe it or not. He's got a lot of batteries in here. It looks like he's got a good sound system. So we had to remove that to get that fuel pump out. So make sure you get that out. Whatever you got to do to get it out, that'd be cool. But I am going to probably tackle it from the bottom side to put the block off plate and then to clean all that old gasket stuff off. We'll do that once we get the car back up in the air. But next up is that we got to remove this old carburetor. It's the Edelbrock. So we're going to end up using, with the sniper kit, we're going to end up using the Vacuum Advance vacuum line and then the PCV valve vacuum line. Those are the only ones we're going to use on this new setup. So we'll remove, or I should say mark those up. You're good to go there. Remove your fuel line. We're going to remove the throttle linkage as well, remove these bolts and pull that old carburetor out. And we got our gaskets here all laid out, set up. This is the rest of the kit in here. Looks pretty nice, looking real good. I'll get this thing opened up a little bit better here so you guys can see. I know you guys want to know what's up with the wiring, but we'll get to the wiring here towards the end. So first up, we got to get this mounted. It looks pretty good. I like this thing. This thing has its own return line, which is pretty nice. It's got its own fuel pressure regulator built in. That'll make it real nice. So let me go ahead and get that old carburetor removed, get that going, and get this thing installed. Got the new one in stock finally. Went ahead and obviously gonna get rid of that old thing, and we got the new one. I've already started playing with it because we have to modify this thing to make it work for our return line. So what I have started to do is, if you look, I've taken this line and kind of moved it out of its place over to the middle, so that way we can utilize this whole area right here. So I'm going to end up removing this tab here, cutting this off, and then we're going to drill our hole right here for our return line, so that way we can get that in here. Now that's just really a vent. That's just really for your vent. So we're going to leave that open like that. We'll leave it open as a vent, and then we'll plug this one off here. That used to be the old return line. So we'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and drill this out here, cut this over, and then I'll show you guys when it's finished. Here I got everything laid out for the sending unit for the return line install. Now you should have all this stuff should be in that kit from Holley. So we'll have the actual AN fitting for the return line. Now this actually, we're gonna drill a hole here, and then you're gonna also use a washer on each side along with a locking nut. So make sure you guys have plenty of room on the back side to tighten that nut. So I'm gonna go ahead, open these up, drill a hole here, and get this thing started. We are back at the car, as y'all can see. Got our tank ready to go there. Now I did want to show you guys this real quick. I didn't go over it over on the bench, but what I went ahead and did is they give you this little tube that they supply. It's really just to run down that return line. They really don't specify in their videos or anything like that, but this is what I use it for. Put the AN fitting on that side, and then cut the tube down to length, and then I just use a little bit of heat with the heat gun, heat up the fitting, heat up the hose, and you should be able to get it on there no problem. But it's just really so that it just goes right down back to the fuel feed, so that way it kind of prevents a little bit less of starvation. So that's how I got my return line set up. I just got to put it on the tank now. We're going to go ahead and put this thing on the tank along with the new seal and lock ring. Let me go ahead and get that done real quick. We got the tank in position. I went ahead and routed my return line there. We got our vent line here, and then we got our actual fuel supply here. I went ahead and threw the hose on there, so that way we can route it to the pump here. And then I went ahead and cleaned up a bunch of the wiring he had here for the sending unit. He had a bunch of wires just everywhere. I didn't like it, so I kind of went ahead and laced them up a little bit real quick. Nothing too crazy, but way better than what he had here. Also had to put some new straps in as well. The old ones were super rusty, and the bolts were rusty. We had to cut those out. That was a pain in the ass. So we got left is put this thing up and connect a few wires, and then we'll get ready for the actual fuel pump install. All right, everyone, finally got everything hooked up here on the tank side. We got our lines ran, we got our wiring ran. So you guys can see that little cutout that is really worked out really well in the middle there. So I also put these like rubber strip, weather strip almost, just to kind of protect the edges as well from any potential vibration, so that way we don't have any issues with the fuel lines or anything. You guys can see we got them all nicely ran. This is a nice little access as well. If you ever need to drop the tank, you can just remove this panel. And then we got also his fuel feed coming in through there. Make sure we got a couple clamps in there, nothing comes loose. Went ahead and even put one here, super small self tap right there. You will never touch the gas tank. And then we got it also ran up through there, down and back. But I really like the way this setup came out. Really clean, super clean. That's what I like. Looking real good. Now we could actually probably focus on the front of the car, move towards the front I should say, now that we got this fuel tank done. But guys, I want to stop the video here. So I know it's a lot of information. I want to give you guys the best I can with this EFI setup. So we will continue the video. Till next time, stay wrenching.